So recently we learned, of course, that Ginni Thomas wasn't just trying to get officials in Arizona to overturn the 2020 election results. She was doing it in other states, including Wisconsin. She was using an online form to basically send these emails. She only had to write it out once and she could send it to lawmakers here, there, and everywhere, begging them to overturn the 2020 election results. And at the time, yeah, that does create a bit of a problem for her husband, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, but does that rise to the level of conflict of interest? We would all like to think it does, but even when I was talking about that, I mentioned I don't know that it actually does. So that was disappointing. But don't worry, folks, lunatics always give us a second chance, and it does turn out that Ginni Thomas has, at least on first glance here, created a massive conflict of interest for her husband. Because even though you can't necessarily claim a conflict with her attempts to overturn the election results, you can claim a conflict for the fact that Ginni Thomas was linked to 51% of the right-wing groups who filed amicus briefs in support of the Dobbs decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which Ginni Thomas's husband, of course, voted in favor of. That is according to a new report came out last week from The Guardian's Ed Pilkington. So let me read this. There were 130 amicus briefs total filed with the Dobbs decision. 130. Some for, some against. But here it is. This is from Pilkington. Of those, 74 were filed in favor of overturning the right to an abortion enshrined in 1973 in Roe v. Wade. In turn, the new analysis shows that 38 of the 74 anti-abortion amicus briefs, 51%, were produced by entities and individuals with links to Ginni Thomas. They included right-wing groups, religious interests, prominent conservative individuals, and lawyers. The revelation that there is substantial overlap between Ginni Thomas and the anti-abortion lobbying effort focused on her husband and other conservative justices will intensify the growing sense of unease surrounding her hyper-energetic conservative activism. So these groups, again, 51%, 38 of the 74, filed amicus briefs, lobbied her husband and the other conservative justices, and they were linked to her in some way or another, either through financial support, either through direct activism, partnerships, whatever it is. She was involved with these groups. And then these groups said, hey, Ginni, we're going to go talk to your husband. I don't know if they actually said that. I probably can't say that, right? That could be a little bad. So I can't accuse them of doing that. But they did go and talk to her husband, whether it was through filing the amicus brief or through their lobbying efforts. And Clarence Thomas, of course, voted in that 5-4 decision for Dobbs, when he clearly should have recused himself because the groups that he was talking to had shared interests with his wife. That is a massive conflict. Not excusing yourself in matters where you have a massive conflict could be grounds for impeachment. So maybe this one would be something we could do. Unfortunately, of course, we don't have the numbers in the House and Senate to do it. That's the other bad part. I absolutely think in a just world, this is something you could do. Let's move forward with articles of impeachment. Let's get the son of a bitch. But we don't even have the numbers to do that. Even if we had actual smoking gun evidence, we still wouldn't have the numbers to remove Clarence Thomas from office. And that's the biggest disappointment of this entire story. Because I think this one right here, I think this would do it. But there isn't a single Republican in that Senate that would go along with removing him from that bench.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.